It's 10 o'clock in the morning in Zanzibar's Paje village, and the tide is out. For farmers here on this island off mainland Tanzania, it's time to get to work. The water recedes every morning, giving seaweed farmers enough time to tend to their crop. Paje village has been growing seaweed for export for almost 2 decades. Young seedlings are tied to pieces of rope that are strung across sticks sunk deep into the sand. After 4 weeks, the seaweed will be ready to harvest. Countries like Japan and the United States of America are the major global importers of seaweed. It's used in making pharmaceuticals, textiles, rubber, adhesives, and various foodstuffs. With temperatures well beyond 30 degrees, seaweed farming can be exhausting work. In this village, it's become more of a woman's than a man's job, with 500 women planting seaweed.
I never had anything in the past. Since I started growing this seaweed, I have money and can buy what I like.
But not everyone can get by. Nyaza Abdallah has been growing seaweed for the last 14 years. Though she's already harvesting some of her crop, she doubts she'll get enough to feed her children. In the past, a kilo of seaweed sold for about 12 US cents. It's now dropped to about 8 cents.
Every month is different. It all depends on the harvest. Sometimes you get more, sometimes less. Once you harvest, you have to wait over a period until it grows, and you can then make money.
Poor profits are why 61-year-old Mbaraka Awadhi abandoned seaweed farming. He was one of the first people to grow the crop in this village. He says lots of men stopped growing the crop for the reasons he did.
The
women started planting seaweed because of problems. We have given them too many children, so they have to feed them. We men don't have the strength to. They have no choice even if there's little money. But lately it seems they are fed up too.
Mariamu Kilimbi stopped growing seaweed after 15 years. She'd made enough money to put up half of the capital needed to start a shop with her husband. She says seaweed farming is the driving force behind the village's income.
Even
though I don't plant seaweed anymore, I still depend heavily on it for my livelihood. I have to wait for the women to plant and sell their crop. It's then they come to me and buy some cloth or soap. If prices keep going down, so will my business.
Before seaweed can be weighed, it has to be dried out in the sun. The government of Tanzania doesn't regulate seaweed farming. Independent establishments like the Zanzibar Agro Seaweed Company provide farmers with the raw materials needed to grow the crop. It's estimated that Tanzania supplied about 4,000 tons to the global seaweed market last year, making almost $1 million US.
Kilimo cha mwani au mazao ya mwani ni mazao ambayo
the spinner, some type of seaweed grown here, is easily found even abroad. This means that the international markets become flooded. Seaweed becomes cheap. That's why the prices rise and fall so easily. The other type of seaweed, called cotton, has a higher price but is not easily found here.
The people living in Paje also depend on subsistence farming, fishing or handicrafts to earn a living. Many feel seaweed farming is on its last legs here.
Seaweed has no money and poor profits. It's women's work. One had rather catch fish.
I wouldn't mind growing seaweed. It's just that I don't have time.
It's heavy work that gives light profits. If a man goes to plant seaweed, his wife stays at home to make him the evening meal. He returns with a crop that he can't sell for over a month, yet he wants to eat every day. Would you do such a job?
At home, Mariamu Kilimbi is counting her blessings. Many here see her as a rich woman. She advises women farmers not to abandon their seaweed farms, but to find ways they can adapt to the situation.
I'm where I am today because I used my head. I just didn't harvest the seaweed. I knew how to invest the money and save. It's because I set goals.
Seaweed planting is an environmentally friendly farming method that should be encouraged. If properly educated on the local and global trends affecting their crops, farmers in Zanzibar would make appropriate adjustments that will ensure that they and those to come reap the benefits they deserve.
Coming up on Africa